Hey everybody, today I'm going to review the Wreck-It Ralph sequel, Ralph Breaks the Internet. Now, I really loved the first Wreck-It Ralph movie back in 2012. It had a wonderful story, great characters, brilliant animation, and also had deep meanings. The film is basically Toy Story meets Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So after Wreck-It Ralph was a critical and commercial success, I have been waiting and wondering that the film is going to have a sequel. So when I first heard that Disney is going to make Wreck-It Ralph Part 2, I became very excited, and also it feels like Disney has finally makes my dream come true. It marks the first Disney animated sequel from the Walt Disney Animated Studios since Fantasia 2000, a sequel to the original Fantasia back in 1940. I saw it and it's fantastic. One of the most fun and excellent Disney animated sequels I had ever seen, and I'm going to tell you why I love this movie without any spoilers. The story of this film took place 6 years after the events of the first film. Wreck-It Ralph and Vanellope Von Schweetz are now best friends, hanging out together every night when the arcades are closed. The next day, Vanellope later got bored on doing the same thing in Sugar Rush. So Wreck-It Ralph decided to try to cheer her up by making a new track for her. However, it did not go so well when the steering wheel was accidentally broken that caused Sugar Rush to be unplugged, leaving Vanellope and the rest of the characters from the game homeless. But then, Wreck-It Ralph and Vanellope had decided to go to the internet world to buy a new steering wheel. As they entered the world of the internet, they later see and experience something they had never seen before. I think the story of this film is just as great as the story of the first film. Although there are a few silly moments, they do have a lot of funny moments and also heartwarming moments as well. The animations in this film, much like the first film, are very well done. I really like all the character designs on how they move, behave, and talk. The world inside the internet looks very futuristic. The environments inside all the arcade games are very creative as always. The internet game, Slider Race, looks very hardcore because it had dirty and graphic environments and also lots of explosions. I find it interesting that the internet world has shown popular websites like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, Google, eBay, Snapchat, Fandango, and I think there's even a mention of Tumblr. Now let's move on to the actors who voiced those characters as well as the directing and music. John C. Reilly, as always, did an incredible job doing the voice of Wreck-It Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph served as the main villain in the game Fix-It Felix, who likes to wreck stuffs. But he is, however, kind-hearted and always wanted to help his good friend Vanellope. Then there's Vanellope Von Schweetz, voiced once again by Sarah Silverman. Vanellope, of course, is a very cute little glitch girl who was the princess of her own game, Sugar Rush, and she is still very funny, lovable, and enjoys racing. Also returned from the first Wreck-It Ralph movie is Fix-It Felix Jr., voiced by Jack McBrayer, Sergeant Calhoun, voiced by Jane Lance, and Mr. Litwack, voiced by Ed O'Neill, who has been in movies like Wayne's World 1 and 2 and Finding Dory, as well as the TV shows like Married with Children and Modern Family. Fix-It Felix Jr. served as a hero of his own game, Fix-It Felix, and is now married to Sergeant Calhoun. Sergeant Calhoun is the main character of her own game, Hero's Duty, and later becomes the wife of Fix-It Felix Jr. However, both Fix-It Felix Jr. and Sergeant Calhoun did not have much to do in this film. Mr. Litwack is the owner of the arcade place. We are introduced to new characters such as Shank, voiced by Wonder Woman herself, Gal Gadot, yes, voiced by TRGP Henson, who has been in movies like Hustle and Flow, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, the 2010 remake of The Karate Kid, and Hidden Figures, Double Dan, voiced by Alfred Molina, who is from Raiders of the Lost Ark, Species, Spider-Man 2 as Dr. Octopus, The Da Vinci Code, Prince of Persia, and Monsters University, and Knows More, voiced by Alan Tudyk. Shank is a tough-as-nail female racer in her own game, Slider Race, who also loves racing, which is ironic because Gal Gadot has been in the Fast and the Furious franchise. I really do enjoy the chemistry between her and Vanellope, which felt like some kind of sisterly relationship. Yes is a very funny, enjoyable, fashionable character that determines the trending videos in the BuzzTube. Double Dan is a half-worm virus creator that inhibits the dark web. Knowsmore is also a funny yet smart character whose job is to help people on what they want to search. It's very surprising that Knowsmore is voiced by the same actor who voiced the villain King Candy, who later reveals to be Turbo from the first film. But unlike the first Wreck-It Ralph film, there is no twist villain in this film. However, similar to the first film, other popular characters from Disney, The Muppets, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, Street Fighter, Pac-Man, Q*bert, and Sonic the Hedgehog have all made a wonderful cameo appearances, but the ones who I felt definitely steal the show are the Disney princesses, such as Snow White, Cinderella, Aurora, Ariel, Belle, Jasmine, Pocahontas, Mulan, Tiana, Rapunzel, Merida, Anna, Elsa, and Moana. Rich Moore still did a great job directing this film, but with the help of his co-director, Phil Johnston. The music composed by Henry Jackman sounds very fun, and it feels like you're in the video game. The song Zero, sang by Image Dragons, sounds very catchy to listen to. So overall, this is a fantastic animated film I had ever seen. I pretty much love this movie the same way I loved the first Wreck-It Ralph movie, the two Tron movies, and Ready Player One. I actually love this movie more than Incredibles 2 in my opinion. Even though Incredibles 2 is a great movie, I love Ralph Breaks the Internet a lot more. If you're a fan of Disney, go see it. Oh, and be sure to stay both the mid and after credit scenes. I will not tell you what happens, but it is funny. So I give this movie 4.5 out of 5 nuclear bombs.